They don't fear your anger. They fear your calm. Because when you stop reacting, when you stop flinching, begging, exploding, they lose the only weapon they ever had against you. And most people never figure this out. They spend their entire lives fighting back, defending themselves, proving their worth, getting loud when someone dismisses them, getting desperate when someone pulls away, getting bitter when the world doesn't treat them fairly. And every single time they do that, they hand over the controls. Here's what nobody told you growing up. Your emotions are not just feelings. They are levers. And the wrong people, the manipulators, the guilt trippers, the passive-aggressive ones, the ones who just want what's best for you, they have been pulling those levers your whole life. They know exactly which words make you shrink. They know exactly which silence makes you panic. They know exactly how to make you feel like you are the problem. And you let them, not because you're weak, but because no one ever showed you the alternative. The alternative is peace. Not the fake kind, not the I'm fine while your chest is burning kind. Real peace. The kind that doesn't need to win the argument. The kind that doesn't need their approval. The kind that can watch someone walk away and not chase. That kind of peace. It is the most powerful thing a human being can possess. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why. And exactly how the Stoics discovered this truth over 2,000 years ago. Stay with me, because the moment you understand this, really understand it, you will never be the same person again. Let me ask you something. When was the last time someone made you feel guilty and you couldn't explain why? When was the last time someone went cold on you and suddenly you were the one apologizing? When was the last time you changed your answer, your opinion, your boundary, just to stop the tension in the room? That wasn't a conversation. That was a system running on you. Here's how manipulation actually works, and it's simpler than you think. It doesn't start with lies. It starts with instability. The moment someone senses that your mood depends on their behavior, that your confidence rises and falls based on their approval, they have found the entry point. And they will use it. Maybe not consciously, maybe not cruelly, but they will use it. Because human beings, all of us, unconsciously test the edges of other people's emotional boundaries. We pull back to see if you chase, we go silent to see if you panic, we criticize to see if you collapse. And if you do, the dynamic is set forever, unless you break it. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus understood this at a level most modern therapists still haven't fully grasped. He said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Not master of others, not master of outcomes, master of himself. Because here is the brutal truth. You cannot control who tries to manipulate you. You cannot control who withdraws love to punish you. You cannot control who weaponizes your kindness against you. But you can control the one thing that makes all of it work. Your reaction. The second you stop reacting, the whole machine breaks down. No fuel, no fire, no power. But here's the part that will disturb you. Most people choose the reaction every single time. Somewhere along the way, you were taught something dangerous. You were taught that being calm means you don't care. That walking away means you're weak. That silence means you have nothing to say. That is one of the most destructive lies ever handed to you. Think about the most powerful people you've ever encountered in your life. Not the loudest ones, not the ones who slam doors and send threatening messages at 2 a.m. The truly powerful ones. They speak slowly, they don't over-explain, they don't chase, they don't beg. And when someone tries to provoke them, they almost look bored. That is not indifference, that is mastery. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the most powerful empire on earth, wrote in his private journal words that were never meant to be read by anyone else. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This man commanded armies. He controlled nations. And yet, the battle he wrote about most, the one he fought hardest, was the battle inside his own mind. Because he knew something most rulers never learn. External power collapses, empires fall, titles disappear. But the person who controls their inner world cannot be dethroned. Peace is not the absence of conflict. Peace is the ability to stand inside the conflict and remain unmoved. It's the ability to hear someone scream at you and not raise your voice. To watch someone try to humiliate you and not shrink. To feel the pull of chaos and choose stillness anyway. That is armor. Real armor, the kind no one can pierce. And here's what will shake you. The moment people sense that armor on you, they stop trying. Not because you frightened them, because you made their weapons useless. Let me get specific now. Because peace sounds beautiful in theory, but theory doesn't help you when someone is standing in front of you, pushing every button you have. So let's talk about the actual triggers, the ones that have been used on you, probably your whole life. Trigger 1, guilt. After everything I've done for you, I guess I just don't matter to you. You've changed, and not for the better. You know these lines. You felt them land in your chest like a stone. Here's the disarm. Guilt only works if you believe you've done something wrong. The next time someone tries to make you feel guilty, pause. Ask yourself one question. Did I actually do something wrong? If yes, own it. Apologize. Fix it. If no, let the guilt pass through you like wind through an open window. Don't grab it. Don't carry it. Don't let it move you. Trigger 2, withdrawal. The sudden coldness, the one-word replies. The silence designed to make you panic and perform. Most people sprint toward that silence, texting again, apologizing for things they didn't do, shrinking themselves to fill the gap. Here's the disarm. Let them be cold. Your peace cannot depend on their warmth. When you stop chasing the withdrawal, when you simply continue living, you send the most powerful message possible. I am not afraid of losing you. And that changes everything. Trigger 3, shame. Public embarrassment, subtle put-downs disguised as jokes, comparisons to other people, constant reminders of your past failures. Shame is designed to make you small, to keep you manageable. Here's the disarm. Own your story before anyone else can use it against you. The Stoics called this amor fati, love of fate. Every scar, every failure, every embarrassing chapter. When you carry your past with dignity instead of hiding it in shame, it becomes a shield, not a wound. And here's what hits hardest. None of these triggers work on a person at peace. Not one. Now I need to be honest with you. Everything I've said so far sounds powerful. But if you close this video and change nothing, nothing changes. Peace is not a mindset you download. It is not an affirmation you repeat in the mirror. It is not something you feel once and keep forever. It is a practice, daily, unglamorous, often invisible. And it starts with one decision that most people are terrified to make. Stop outsourcing your emotional state. Every morning, before the world gets its hands on you, before the notifications, before the conversations, before the demands, you need 5 minutes of silence. Not meditation if that's not your thing. Not journaling if you hate writing. Just silence. Sit with yourself. No input, no distraction. Because here's what that silence does. It reminds you that you exist before anyone else's opinion of you. The Stoics call this the morning preparation. Marcus Aurelius did it. Seneca did it. Epictetus, a man born into slavery, did it. They began each day by reminding themselves of one thing. Today people will frustrate me, disappoint me, try to provoke me, and none of it will reach me unless I allow it. That's not arrogance, that's preparation. The second practice, and this one is harder. Create a pause between stimulus and response. Someone says something that cuts you, something designed to destabilize you. Before you react, breathe once, slowly. In that single breath lives your entire freedom. Because reaction is automatic, response is chosen. And the person who chooses their response can never truly be controlled. The third practice, the one nobody talks about, get comfortable with being misunderstood. Most of your emotional chaos doesn't come from what people do to you. It comes from your desperate need for them to understand you, to see you correctly, to validate your version of events. Let that need go. Not everyone deserves your explanation. And here's the uncomfortable truth that will set you free. The people trying hardest to control you, they are the least at peace with themselves. Nobody tells you this part. Everyone talks about the benefits of inner peace, the clarity, the confidence, the freedom. But nobody warns you about what it costs. And it costs more than you think. The first thing you have to give up is being right. Not occasionally, not in small arguments. I mean, the deep, addictive need to be validated, to win, to make them admit they were wrong about you. Here's the brutal reality. Some people will go to their grave believing a false version of you. And the peaceful person learns to be okay with that. Because chasing vindication is just another form of letting them control your time, your energy, your life. Let them have their version. You keep your peace. The second thing you have to give up is certain relationships. And this one will hurt. Because when you stop reacting, when you stop being manipulable, some people will leave. Not strangers, not enemies, people you love. Because some relationships only function when you are unstable. When you are anxious enough to chase. When you are insecure enough to tolerate mistreatment. When you are desperate enough to keep performing for their approval. The moment you stop, the relationship reveals what it actually was. And sometimes what it actually was a cage. The third thing you have to give up is the drama. I know that sounds simple, but drama is addictive. The adrenaline of conflict, the intensity of emotional chaos, the strange comfort of a familiar fight. Some people confuse that intensity for connection. It is not a connection. It is dependency. Real peace feels quiet at first. Almost uncomfortably quiet. Because you've spent so long living at high volume that silence feels like something is wrong. Nothing is wrong. You're just finally, for the first time, free. And here's what will hit you like cold water. The moment you truly stop needing their chaos, you will realize how much of your life you spent living for people who never once lost sleep over you. I want you to imagine something. Imagine waking up tomorrow and not immediately reaching for your phone to check if someone responded, not scanning your messages for signs of approval or rejection, not bracing yourself for someone's mood before you've even had your first breath of the day. Imagine moving through your entire day, fully present, not performing for anyone, not managing anyone's emotions, not shrinking, not chasing, not explaining yourself to people who are never listening anyway. That is not a fantasy. That is what peace actually feels like. And I need you to hear this clearly. You are not too broken for it. You're not too damaged, too far gone, too deeply conditioned. Epictetus was born a slave. He had no freedom, no rights, no control over his own body. And yet he became one of the most psychologically free human beings who ever lived. Because he understood something that his owners never did. You can chain a man's body. You cannot chain his mind. Your circumstances do not determine your peace. Your choices do. Every single day you get to choose. Do I hand my emotional state to this person? Do I let this moment define my worth? Do I react or do I respond? Those choices compound day after day, week after week, until one morning you wake up and realize nobody controls you anymore. Not your past, not your fears, not the people who spent years learning exactly how to pull your strings. Because the strings are gone. This is what the Stoics were really teaching. Not cold detachment, not emotionless living. But this, a life so rooted in itself that the storms of other people's chaos simply pass around you. The more peaceful you become, the less they can touch you, the less they can use you, the less they can break you. And that is not weakness. That is the most dangerous thing a human being can become. Someone who has nothing left to take.